Hello everyone and welcome to the channel. I'm Emmanuel, I'm an airline pilot, and in today's video we are going to fly the 146 Professional version 2 one more time. This time we're flying the BAE 146-100 so that we actually got all variants covered on this channel. Now the 100 is a little bit of a cute one if you ask me. If you just have a look at the overall airframe over here, it just looks like the wings are far too large for the airplane in question, and I do somewhat hope that that is going to reflect in the flight dynamics, but we'll talk about that in a few moments. So let's just go ahead and board our airplane, and then we are going to make our way towards San Diego from Los Angeles right over here. Now, right now we do not have a ground power unit available, so no ground service bus, but during daylight that's luckily not as much of an issue, so we'll just go right into the cockpit, take a seat, and we are going to fire up the APU right over here. So let's have a quick look. Batteries are looking okay. Weather radar is turned off and the tilt is actually going all the way up. Then speed brakes in, flaps retracted and matching, and we do have battery power. So let's bring them straight on over here. APU fire test is looking good. And off we go, starting the APU. Alright, so that is going to take a few moments. While that is ongoing, let's go ahead and grab the latest flight plans so that we do have an idea of what we are going to do today. Now, a few words here on the plane in question before we start with that. The aircraft is this time going to be configured in an American configuration, obviously. So that means we are going to switch it over into pounds, and so we are going to do the same right over here on the unit screen, where we're going to go right over to pounds. Alright, now that this is done, let's go ahead and grab our flight plan. So, Los Angeles to San Diego, and this time we'll have to improvise a little bit with the routing over here. And that is fully intentionally, so that you guys can see a little bit of how to work with that FMS in order to navigate your way around, but without actually going too far into radar vectoring yourself and stuff like that. But that is what we're going to have a look at today, how to use that FMS in order to navigate your way around in case you've got departures and arrivals where there are no fixed procedures on there. Okay, so quick look into the output screen here, and what we have then. United 4643 Los Angeles to San Diego. It's going to be a very quick flight here, 32 minutes scheduled trip time, and I wouldn't be surprised if it becomes a little bit shorter than that. Alright, San Diego itself is looking at very good weather. Now, variable 4 is the forecast, and that's calm winds is pretty much what we have. Okay, cool. So, that much on this topic. So with that in mind, let's go over into the aircraft screen. We're going to import our SimReef numbers. We're just going to take them exactly as they are over here. Let's make that one more passenger. And this time, we are going to go for the realistic boarding over here. Alright, just quickly got to make sure that our airplane is actually safe to start boarding. Okay, so are we actually refueled yet? Don't think we are, so with that in mind, let's go for realistic boarding and start. Listen out to the boarding sounds that they do play when you are listen out to those boarding sounds once the passengers start coming in. And obviously we're going to stow those stairs again. Not sure why they put him out in first place, because after all we are using the jetway. Alright, so a quick look for you into some of the equipment options we have. Now, today we are going to operate really old school airplanes, so we don't have the TCAS VSI on board, and we do however have the FMS navigation. As you can see, you can choose between two different FMS options. Now, this one is the realistic one, the UNS1. Now, you can also just fit the Proline 21 gauge in there from a working title, but honestly, check the classic one. That's really the realistic thing to do. Alright, so that much about a little bit of the background in there. Fueling is finished, so let's go ahead, turn on those seat belts, and then we can now start with our air conditioning, and all of that done. Let's also put on a fuel pump. That extinguishes the APU warning there. Okay, very good. So, like that, our airplane is pretty much ready to go for our pre-flight procedures. Quick check out the hydraulics here. Surprise, they are working. Okay, then let's tell them for sure to get rid of those stairs now. You do need hydraulic pressure in order to be able to extend and retract them. And, well, poor jetway, that is gonna be broken now. So be it. Okay. So, today we are not flying very high, it's just going to be up to 13,000 feet for this very quick trip, so our cabin altitude can actually remain at 0. That's pretty cool, isn't it? Very, very nice for the passengers' ears. Okay, temperatures do look rather low over here. Not to say they look rather unbelievable. Let's see, APU is running, APU air is on, and the packs are on. Well, duct temperatures are alright. Let's put that up a little bit, though. Maybe that can help warm it up a little bit quicker. And, well, with that, we can move down to the main panel. So, not all that much to do over here. What's the current QNH, though? So, METAR, looking at 2995. Here we go. We are certainly going to navigate on on-off procedures. We'll deal with the speeds and stuff like that later. This one is also going on to on-off procedures. And then we can go ahead and turn on our FMS, our comms. And finally, our transponder is going to go Squawk 2000. Here we go, and the flight number... Let's see, U. Nope, that's wrong. Come on, give me previous. I'm on the wrong screen here. U A L 4743. Okay, awesome. Enter that, and then we can move this over. And the brake temperature monitor can come on. Okay, perfect. So, that is our general setup completed over here. Then let's go into the FMS and we'll play a little bit more down here. Active database, we can accept that. So, flight plan. We are departing from Los Angeles. And for our departure, we got runway 25 right, that is number 8, and we are departing by the Los Angeles 1 departure, so number 5. And Mike Zulu Bravo is going to be our transition. Okay, enter all that. Next up, and our destination is going to be San Diego, K-San. Enter and accept. And then for our arrival, we got that down here. It's going to be runway 27. We do not have any star for this one, and it is going to be... Actually, it's going to be runway 09. That way around, no star, and an ILS Zulu approach. Enter that, Mike Zulu Bravo. Well, I could enter that, but the routing is probably not going to look too nice. So, we'll talk about that in a few moments when we're airborne. Okay, cool. So, that is pretty much that stuff done. Then let's go over to the fuel. This time the weight is in pounds already. Passengers are going to be 65 today. And the cargo... it's going to be... let's see, that seems to be pretty much done. So we're looking at a cargo weight there of about 948. Okay, here we go. Then we can enter our fuel numbers. So going back to the OFP, onto the output page, what do we have then? Alternate fuel 2691. Holding fuel, that's going to be a final reserve, 1611. Extra fuel 0, and that's going to be our fuel reserves. And the fuel on board looks about fine at what we have just now. Okay, awesome. We're going to enter this. That updates our gross weight. 72,491. So we just got to wait until boarding is complete before we set any of the bucks over here. Okay then, TGG is going to become 840, and that's it. Okay, awesome. Then let's go ahead and have a look at the chart in order to determine if our FMS has everything correct. And of course, we need the airport chart and the... Let's see, I do think that's the chart. Yeah, it is. Alright, perfect. And then our SIT, Los Angeles 1 departure, LAX 1. Fairly easy going, if we're honest. When airborne, left turn heading 221, and thereafter from Seal Beach, it's going to be all the way down to Mission Bay. Okay, drop altitude assigned by ATC, but we do have a 3,000 below restriction initially, so that is what I am going to go for right over here. Okay, 3,000, flight director on, turn on all the comms over here. Okay, so what do we need then? Seal Beach, 115.7. Is active. And let's do Los Angeles, 13.6 on number 2. Here we go. And finally on standby 1, we'll take Mission Bay, which is basically exactly at San Diego already. So 17.8 is going into the standby. Here we go. Alright, so that pretty much looks like an awesome setup. At least easy awesome. That's how I understand it. We're going to leave this one on ANAV, even though we could depart just with NAV selected. But I tell you honestly, I kind of prefer ANAV because it gives you a runway track over here. And that kind of makes life easy as well. Or especially when we make that left-hand turn here. It's just going to set our HSI as we need it. Okay, very good. So, do we have an initial climb chart anywhere? We do not. Okay, then we just got to work that off our text down here. So, 25 left right, climb and heading 241, cross Santa Monica, radial 160, at or below 3000. Then turn left heading 221, expect radar vectors to signed route, fixed transition. Okay, so Santa Monica 10.8. I tell you what, let's go ahead and set that active at first. Here we go. That's going to be radial 160, so... We could obviously just monitor it down here, but let's be honest, if we just make it like that, even easier. So then we can just go to nav mode as well, and then we can make it a kind of hybrid thing for our departure. Okay, course 251. And then we'll need 221 once we're airborne, so tell you what, let's just put 221 into the heading buck. That should make our life about as easy as possible. When airborne, left 221 until we're crossing the radial here below 3000, and that's it. And that's about as easy as it gets. Okay then, so now that this stuff is done, 15.7 Seal Beach, do we have that on standby? Yep. And Los Angeles over here. Okay, that is awesome. Great, then let's go ahead with our departure briefing. So, threats for this departure, well, me, myself and I. Mostly because we're not so familiar with the airplane yet. So, nothing much to worry about, because there is nobody flying in our immediate vicinity. Okay, so, for our routing then, quick check down here. So, flight plan summary, 131 nautical miles at 21 minutes flight time, that looks about right. Reserve fuel 1.1 on our arrival is not correct. No, that looks much better. 4302, probably work in progress there. I just had an email with the guys at JustFlight, and they told me that the FMS is alright in what it can do at the moment, but it is still a bit of a work in progress, and that is definitely to be kept in mind. Okay, now, just looking down at the fuel gauges, and they're showing much less than they just did a bit earlier. They were above 2,000 if I remember right, but that's kilogram of course, so if you look at that in pounds, then yeah, we just burned a bit from the APU, but that's it. Okay, well, that is fine, I tell you. That is just about fine. Okay, so, with that in mind, let's go ahead and have a look at our flight plan itself. Okay, so, pushback is going to be with the nose to the right-hand side. We'll do a self-taxi out of here. I know that officially they do, they pull you out, but we're gonna make our lives easy, depending on what GSX offers. If GSX offers a pushback onto Charlie, then we're probably going to take it, but otherwise we are not going to bother with it. Okay, taxi then is via Charlie 6 Bravo for a full-length departure 25 right. We can do Foxtrot as well, can do Bravo 2 as well, but I suppose it's just going to be the full length. Our departure, Los Angeles 1 departure, quick look into that. So, first of all, for our initial climb, climb on heading 251, cross Santa Monica, radial 160, at or below 3000. Then turn left heading 221, expect radar vectors on assigned route. Okay, so cross Santa Monica, radial 160, at or below 3, then turn left heading 221. So we climb straight ahead to the radial and then make the left-hand turn onto 221 degrees. And in here we do have heading 251 and then just the radar vector. Okay, so the FMS might have a little bit simplified coding there, but we are just going to fly that raw data anyway. So let's switch over to nav down here, and that's our setup. So on here we can just put the runway track. Ah, very good. They're just done with the boarding. So in here we'll put the runway track in, 251, until crossing the radial. Okay, that's awesome. Then, from there on, we're just going to avoid flying over the city, and we're most likely going to get a direct somewhere. Maybe Oceanside, maybe Mission Bay all the way. We'll see about that. In case of emergencies, we just continue straight ahead out to the open water. They do say MSA 4300 on here, but I tell you honestly, it's just water, so I'm totally happy in 3000, if you are. Yes, sir. Okay, great, thank you. Perfect, then we're pretty much done. So let's quickly say hello to the passengers. I'm just going to do that in person. It's just cute how small this cabin is, isn't it? Like, the 146-100 is really... I don't know. I like it. I just like it because it is such an interesting shape, that plane. So small, yet it's definitely got its right for existence. Okay, so let's just quickly make that PA say hello. Ladies and gentlemen, very warm welcome aboard this United Airlines flight 4643 to San Diego. My name is Emmanuel, I'm your captain today, and with me in the cockpit lots of very interested first officers who are going to fly you over today. Flight time approximately half an hour, expect a smooth ride in 13,000 feet with a couple of good views along the shoreline. We'd like to thank you very much for being our guest today. Sit back, relax, enjoy the flight with us. If there is anything we can do for you to make it more comfortable, please do not hesitate to ask any of our cabin crew. Once again, thank you very much for your attention and welcome aboard. Okay, so they are settled. Then let's go ahead, close that door. Perfect, okay. Loads of lengthy checklists over here, but it is pretty nice to see that they actually do give you the real life checklists on here. Rather useful, but I'm just too lazy. Okay, anyway, we'll keep them up here. That's it. Alright, excellent. So, with that, I'd say we're pretty much done. So we are operating on the APU already. Let's go ahead and request our pushback. Ground from cockpit. Go ahead. So, please confirm doors and hatches closed, ground equipment removed, and bypass pin is installed. Roger, Captain, that's all confirmed. And we are attaching the tug. Roger, thank you. Okay then. So, here we go. Flaps 18 takeoff. Gonna set those takeoff speeds right over here. Then nav and nav. Weather radar going into standby. And that's it. Okay, lifting up the nose. Let's have a quick look at that from the outside. Because the GSX profiles here are completely custom now. And they do come with the airplane itself. That looks strange. It really looks strange being lifted up that high. Well, that's interesting. It hung itself up again. You for real, GSX? I want my pushback now, please. I don't want a parking menu, I want the pushback menu. Where's that now? Yeah, that sucks. Okay, so GSX is once again broken. Unbelievable. Thank you, GSX, for nothing. Now we're hanging here in the air, are we? Oh, what the... crappy shit of a thing. Thank you so much for nothing again. Okay, luckily we do have a pushback service right inside our airplane. I did want to give GSX a chance, but you guys saw where that led to, so ain't gonna bother with it again. Just get me out of that concrete hole here, please. Now someone tell me again that I need to download proper profiles. This was the official IndyBuilds profile. At least as far as I'm aware. Puts your nose up and then tells you like, oh, you want to park somewhere? No! I want to get rid of the pushback tuck at least. And we saw the entire result. Okay, well. Is it going to get us out of here? Probably struggles a little bit to get us uphill. But you can do it, I trust you. Okay, so brake release. And here we go with a proper pushback. Unbelievable, isn't it? Okay, so engine start then. Engine number 4, start. That's 10%. Fuel on number 4. So let's see how the ride across the turn is now. Yeah, I'd say that looks about alright. At least for a self-driven pushback it does. Kinda undershot a little bit, but that is fine. Okay then, let's try pull that thing forward onto the line. And then we've got a good start in number 4, starting number 3. Suppose that's the engine start point right over there. But we'll just pull the airplane all the way to the front. We do have time anyway during the push and the engine start here. Might just pull it all the way to the runway, huh? No, just kidding. Even though it might literally save quite a bit of fuel. Like taxi fuel on a wide body easily half a ton to a ton. So if you can save that by just using a pushback tug, who knows if it might be worth it. Okay then, so thank you for your pushback. That looked a lot better than what GSX had to offer. And then we can go ahead and start engine number 2. What's the white one down there? Screen heat select off. Okay. Well, that should be attached to all the heaters we got up here. Yep, here it is. Screen heater. Obviously, the Brits need to call it a screen heater instead of a windshield heater. But so be it. We can live with a little bit of Britain. They do make good breakfast after all. Wondering who's gonna kill me for that one. Sure enough, somebody will try. Okay, so that looks like a good start on engine number 2. Let's go ahead and start engine number 1. I do have to admit, it is a little bit of a pain to actually start all of those engines manually. I feel kind of sorry for those pilots who had to do it in their daily routine. Like, imagine flying, let's say, 6 sectors, which sounds like, you know, a pretty normal, flight, or a pretty normal day in the life of a BAE 146 pilot. And 6 sectors times 4 engine starts is 24 engine starts a day. Now imagine flying 5 days a week, you've done over 100 engine starts. I don't think I've done that many on the A330 in total yet. Well, not 100% sure, to be honest. Okay, so that is good engine starts. This time I'm not gonna forget those. But I forgot the engine anti-ice. Okay, here we go. Okay then, and the power management computer can come on. Full takeoff power, please. I do want to see how lovely that airplane can fly, how much power it has, and then we can do the flight control track. Full up, full down, neutral, full left, full right, neutral, rudder, full left, full right, neutral. Okay, looking awesome. Let's go. Taxi lights on. Parking brake is off anyway. Okay. Here we go, my friends. A little bit of power to get it rolling. I have a feeling that's all we're going to need. We're over here, straight ahead through Charlie 6, left on the Bravo for full length. Not that we need it, but rather have it than need it. Clear on both sides. Oh, here we are. Lovely. So, a little bit of the Tobii eye tracker here. So, just wondering, if we turn this on RNAV, are we getting a reliable ground speed indication? Maybe, huh? 22 knots, 23. I'd say that looks about alright when we just look outside. Not that we do want to use on-off. Although interesting that we get the same when we're switching it over to nav mode. I would imagine that in nav mode it should have a little bit more difficulty to actually cope with it. Because where should the data come from? All it can measure is the angular speed compared to a nav 8 in reception range. But that would only give you your true ground speed when you're heading right towards or right away from the actual nav 8 in question. So, a little bit interesting where that comes from. But okay. Config check is looking good. Now let's just remain on that taxiway here without getting an excursion. Transponder is on already. Okay, awesome. Cabin secure is exactly what I want to hear. And that's what we got. So, clear on the approach. Cabin crew, prepare for departure. Okay, so quick review. Straight ahead until passing radial 160 Santa Monica, below 3,000 feet. And then it's going to be left-hand turn heading 221 until we are getting... and then we'll get radar vectors from air traffic control. Any questions about that? No? That is awesome. So, are you ready? Ready. Perfect. Then... timing. Takeoff.
TMS set to takeoff.
Come on, TMS.
Set N1 G.
Well, good enough. Brake release, take off.
Speed alive, both sides.
Check.
80 knots cross checked.
Check.
V1, rotate. V2, positive rate of climb.
Gear up. Look at that raw power there. Beautiful angle of climb, isn't it? Okay, 1,500, acceleration.
VFTO, safe height speed, select flaps in.
Flaps up. 88%, climb power is set. Radial 160 Santa Monica is coming in. Ah yeah, thank you. Okay, heading select. So let's just keep going on the climb. Reaching 250 knots. So speed hold. Autopilot on. And with that done, generators are online. Okay then, climb throttle 130, which is going to be our cruising level. Hold arm. Seal Beach going active. APU, that's normal. And left turn heading 180. So that we're at least flying into the generally right direction. A little bit more cloudy than I would have initially hoped, I'm afraid, but so be it, we can live with that. So 89% power is looking good. 88.9 is likewise acceptable, of course. Right, let's go over to area navigation. And then direct to Mike Zulu Bravo. Enter. Here we go. Okay. LNAV. This is pretty much exactly the same thing the real flight has also received when I checked yesterday. Even though the real one was obviously operated on an Embraer and not on a 146. Unfortunately, but gotta live with that, huh? So flying all the way down direct to Mission Bay, 17.8. Let's see if we can receive that. Yeah, we can. 90 miles ahead. So we're slightly overturning because I was in heading mode, still flying into the wrong direction when we entered the direct. That is expectable. That's pretty much exactly what I would expect my plane to do here. Okay, quick call to the cabin. Hi, Emmanuel here from Flight Deck. We'll keep the passenger signs on, but you're released now. You've got about 10 minutes for the service. Thank you. Passing 10,000. We'll keep the lights, we'll keep the belts. Only the turn-off light. We can turn off those. Okay, so 13 is pre-selected. Then a very quick look into the charts for our destination. Do we have a way of actually requesting the latest weather in this? I don't think we do. I think the weather info here is just straight from a sim brief, so not up to date. But wind calm, I mean, how much can it change? Well, the good news is I've got my iPad in front of myself, so I can just look that up real quick. So the latest in San Diego is still the same. Everything's unchanged. Well, that's awesome. $1,000 to go. So, 1,000 feet a minute, please. Vertical speed. Alt armed. We can go for 90% thrust. Gives us a little bit more speed here, like that. Perfect. So we're looking at a target of 290 knots today. Not too quick and not too slow. 7 minutes till cruising level. I'd say that is pretty much alright. Destination QNH 2998, can pre-select that. Then we don't need to change it en route anymore. Obviously in the real world you'd fly based on whatever QNH the controller tells you, but you get where I'm going with this. So on the higher levels we said 83% is what we need. In the lower levels it's probably going to be less, but let's see what 83 actually gives us. Okay, here we go. 83, let's see what we're going to get. Looks like it's pretty much maintaining the 290, is it? Well, that's quite nice then. So, a new hidden click spot here to synchronize the heading bug. Okay, so we're en route. Can't be that much longer until we reach our top of descent already. Just flying southbound along the US West Coast here. Look outside, man, those engines and wings are close. They are very close. Okay, so with these weather conditions we are obviously going to fly the ILS runway 9 approach. So ILS runway 9. And there is a transition available from Mission Bay, but in my opinion that's a little bit too annoying. Fly down here, then fly the procedure turn. We're not going to do that. Instead we'll just fly direct to Gatto later on. Well, let's see, do we have Gatto on our flight plan already? Yes we do. Okay, in that case, tell you what, direct to number 9 Gatto. Well, number 14 actually. The same waypoint twice because the procedure turn starts from there as well. But in that case we'll fly direct number 14. Direct to Gatto. Beautifully smooth handling of the autopilot, by the way, that's really worth mentioning here. Okay, and then if we're in to Gatto already, well, we might just do it direct to Sarks and then to Gatto. Let me just insert that on the plan if we can. So, Sarks, Gatto. Direct to, and then we can go direct to, okay, that's a bit strange here. Over here, that entire route is still available. In here, it is not. That's interesting. Probably not what it's supposed to be. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, we got Sarks down here, so... Yeah, interesting, we got it twice now. One time behind Mission Bay, and then Gatto, and now we got it down here as well. Well, that's interesting. Anyway, direct number 14. And now if we go into the VNAV page, target VS 2000, 13 miles till the top of descent. That looks quite good to me. Right then, ILS DME is going to be on 111.55. Gonna switch that active. And for the missed approach, we'll need Podgy 16.45. Here we go. Alright, so missed approach climb 5000 and heading 095 and inbound to Podgy VR radial 300 to Podgy. Then right turn on Podgy VR radial 268 to Cabus intersection 23.4 miles and hold. Okay. Well, first of all, we'll need 095 on course number 1 for our front course for the approach, and we're going to fly both on that. Then nav 2, we'll select 120 inbound to Podgy, Here we go, 120 and 1645. Don't really need mission bay anymore, so we can detune that. And here we go, that's looking better. Alright, 6 miles till the TD, gotta keep an eye on that. Okay, so that is what we have now. Minimum's 200 feet on the radio, that's what we have down here. And that's it already. So for the approach itself, we're gonna make a flap 24 approach. We're gonna select that down here, and finally, there should be a switch somewhere inside the cockpit where you can configure the ground proximity warning system for that. But I can't really seem to find that switch. If anybody of you knows where it is, then do put it into the comments below. Otherwise, we are just going to get ground proximity flap warning on the approach, but we can live with that. If we anticipate that it is going to happen, then I don't really mind it happening. But regardless of how much I search, I just can't find that switch. Okay. Well, so be it. Let's not waste our time on that. We are aware it's going to come. That's all we need to know. Okay, top of descent now. Okay, so long. Okay, 2,000 feet a minute, looks good to me. Vertical speed. And down we go. So we basically talked about the approach briefing on the way in already, so I'm not going to repeat all that stuff. Okay, awesome. So, that's our bucks all pre-selected. Altitude-wise, let's see. Well, we're over the sea for the entire approach, so tell you what, we'll go down straight down 3,000. 2 is going to be the platform. Well, then we go down 2. Here we go. Don't need to reselect anything on the cabin because our cabin is at sea level already. Approaching 10,000. Alt. Cabin crew, prepare for landing, please. So, speed is coming down. And speed is at 250. Yes, hold. Now let's see in what kind of a descent the plane is going to establish itself now. That was surely a little bit of a dive, but it just tried to catch back the speed it lost when we made our way down, so that is expected. Okay, roughly 2,000 feet a minute in flight idle. Do note flight idle in this case means it's maintaining 60% N2, which it needs for pressurization. Okay, so starting APU. That APU warning is expected. Not sure why the alt arm is not on anymore. Probably because we changed vertical modes. And that's okay. Okay, so what do we have here? Vertical speed required is 2,150. Well, okay. Then we help it a bit. So, watch it as I'm pulling the speed brake. If you do pull it really gently, then you can achieve a pretty smooth flight with it. Just gotta give the plane time to react to the additional drag to get the nose down. And as you can see, works really nicely. Let's not overdo it here. Just want to get a little bit below the profile. So an easy way to determine if you're on profile or not is just to look down here at the vertical speed required. If your target is 2000 and you're showing 1850 required, that basically tells you that you are below the profile. If you need more than the required vertical speed, that tells you you're above the profile. Okay, so slowly stowing the speed brake again. Always do this slowly when you're in speed hold mode. I mean, do it slowly anyway for passenger comfort, but especially when you're in speed hold mode, do it very slowly so that the plane has time to pitch, so that your speed doesn't run away. Because if the speed runs away, then the plane is going to start chasing the speed, and that's not going to end very well. But if you just do it like this, easy going. Okay, 155 is active. We're set to navigate on nav 1. Okay, so let's now say air traffic control would take us onto radar vector. Then obviously we'd go over to heading mode, and then I would really recommend to change over to nav mode as early as possible, so that you can give yourself a good indication of when your intercept is going to start. We're just going to make a left-hand turn here, 10 degrees, heading on to 0. And with that we're cleared for the localizer, which we're going to arm. And here we go already. We've got 1000 to go. Let's start pulling the nose up a little bit. Train noted. So that's a good vertical speed right there. VS, Alt arm. So like that we can already start reducing our indicators. And now APU is available, APU air on, engine air off. That should give us a little bit lower thrust on the approach. Okay, localizer capture. Runway heading 095. Drag. So you can see it really does take a little while to get our speed down. Looking for 180 on the approach, so we'll just give it a while. We've got about 4 miles until we intercept the glide slope. Just gotta make sure we don't intercept any of the vessels before that. Well, that looks about fine to me. It's really incredible. Just looking outside, I have no way to judge what my height currently actually is. When the water is clear, no waves, no swells. But rather busy up over here anyway. Lovely helipods down there. We might want to give those a try at some point.
Glide slope's alive. 1 dot to go.
Checked. Okay, speed at 200.
Glide slope captured.
Alright, flaps 18.
Established on the ILS. Speed check below 205. Select gear down.
Yeah, not yet. Take the gear at 6 miles. AC pump and PTU coming on. The rest of flight deck is looking good. Alright, gear down.
Speed check to below 180. Select flaps 24.
And flaps 24. So the autopilot does seem to have a little bit of an issue there, actually maintained in the glide slope. And as soon as we disconnect, it goes in go-around mode. That's interesting. Alright then, speed brake coming in. Okay, on the glide slope, set my target speed. Here we go. Okay, looking good. All stable. 217 the minimums. Check. A little bit high though, since we are flying over falling terrain. Now we're actually at plus 100.
Below, flaps.
Disregard that. Minimum, continue.
$50, $40, $30, $20, $10.
Ground idle. Brake pressure seen. Yellow and green spoilers. 60 knots.
A little bit fast for that exit. Gotta make sure the plane doesn't topple over. But here we are. Welcome to San Diego. So, 25 minutes of flight time. Awesome. And off we go then. So here we have it, our second flight with the 146 Professional version 2. And again, my feedback from the first one holds. It is an awesome airplane to fly. Really great fun. And that FMS just makes life so easy, doesn't it? It's never been that easy to navigate the 146 before. Well, unless you did it the unrealistic way and used the working title FMS that was fitted in the previous version. But now we really got it realistic. That is how it should look like. Okay, we actually need to turn that anti-air on only for shutdown, do we? So we just go all the way to the end, and over there we're going to find our gate. Beautiful little ride, really enjoyable, and the best thing of all, it is a free update. Now, if you don't have the 146 Professional itself yet, I can really recommend you to get it now, because they have the Easter sale up. If you're watching this video a little bit later, then my apologies for that, but right now during the Easter sale the plane is available at a well-discounted price, so anticipating the update release very soon, I can most certainly recommend you to go and grab it now while it's hot. Okay, so here we are, we made it. Then all the way to the end, and then to the left. Lights coming off. Entering the gate. And here we are. Okay, APU is running, and the APU generator is online. 4, 3, 2, or the other way around. Okay, 1, 2. Here we go. That was not intentional. And here we are. So, welcome to San Diego. Quick turnaround, then we're gonna go back. But that is gonna happen off screen. So with that, I'd like to thank you very much for flying along today. Hope that you have enjoyed the flight as much as I did, and hope that you are enjoying the 146 as much as I do. If you have any suggestions on what can be improved in this airplane, please do message them to JustFlight, as they are actively working on improving the airplane. Can really recommend you to go ahead and send them all the suggestions you have. Alright, so trucks in place, ground power in place. The only thing we cannot call here is a jetway, so let's see if GSX has restarted. So let's just go ahead and request deboarding and handling by something. Here we go, the jetway comes. That was a quick docking. Alright, and I'll tell you what, let's just stop that music, please. Thank you so much. Alright then, guys, here we have it. Our 146 Professional V2 and the first flight with a 146-100. Again, really enjoyable one. I do really like flying this airplane. It is so smooth to fly and just such a joy to fly. Now, I think that's a very good summary for this video. With that, I'd like to say thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comments below, as much as I'm looking forward to show it to you all again on the next one. In the meantime, if you did like the video, sure to leave a like in the comments below. And if you're up for more, don't forget to subscribe to the channel. With all of that, I'd like to say thank you so much for flying along. I see you all again on the next one. If you really love what I'm doing, I would appreciate a small donation through the Buy Me Coffee link in the video description below. Until then, thank you for watching and see you all again on the next one.